Memento mori, remember you will die. It's like your first breakup, your first big failure,
So you need to sit in the darkness to appreciate the light.
But no, life is to live, bro. It's the action, it's reality. The only reason people do not do things is because of their belief system and limiting beliefs. That's it.
Somebody's had it worse and done it better.
100%. And just create some cool shit that's gonna impact the world. What do you need to do what you enjoy every day without stress, for example? But they don't see nights where I literally cry myself to sleep. They don't see the nights where it's like you're thousands of dollars in debt and you're going through so much pain and hurt and no one believes in what you're doing, but you know that it's right in your heart. People don't see that.
Welcome to Naturally Curious.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. You and I just saw each other for the first time in Bali.
Yeah.
After probably not seeing each other for 4 years, maybe?
4 or 5 years, yeah.
Give or take. Yeah. Great experience, and we'll get into that. But to start, why don't you tell me about who you are right now?
Who I am right now. It's so interesting because who I am has been changing constantly. Because as you know, I've been traveling the world, As of right now, I would say, ironically, I'm just curious. That's it. I'm just curious. My entire drive, everything that I'm pushing forward to in life is out of curiosity. I'm curious if I travel the world, what will happen? I'm curious if I pursue this business venture, what will happen? I think curiosity breeds successful people. Because how would you ever know if you never thought what if, or what could be? So I guess I'm just a curious person, at least right now. Open-minded, curious, just lust for life, ready to just live in every way possible, love hard, live harder, and just explore genuine connection. That's who I am, 100%.
Where do you think that curiosity comes from?
Honestly, dude, I've always been a positive person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
But I think it just comes from an open mind. I think it's because I've put myself in so many different situations and I've been exposed to so much stuff at an early age. I just always think, what if? Like, even though I didn't go to the NFL and, COVID hit that dream a little bit to pursue football, I was still waking up at 6 a.m. Like, what if I just kept going every single day and wake up at 6 a.m. going for a run, going to the gym harder? What would happen if I was my best self in football? What could I accomplish? And so I was always just curious. I always wanted to see the world, try new things, try new foods, whatever it may be, just always a curious person. That's it.
How has that curiosity been fulfilled since you started traveling? What answers have you gotten?
It's given me a lot more questions than answers. Every single answer.
Which is fair. But you know what I'm saying? Because
100%.
We just saw each other in Bali.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say, if anything, it just made me more aware. I'm aware that I'm a curious person now. Before I would have answered, I'm an entrepreneur. Before I would have answered, I'm a business owner. Before I would have answered, but all of those things are just titles and labels where I'm just a curious person. And that feeds every other branch of my life, And so I think traveling, the best answers it gave me were a lot of answers within internally, understanding who I want to be, what I value in life, what my priorities are, how I actually view life, how I want to live my life, because I think that's important. So I think all of those answers are mostly just internal, and they're having me ask more external questions of like, I wonder what South America's like. I wonder what this place is like. How do these people react? What's the humor in China? You know what I mean? Like, what's that population like? What are these people like? And you just realize too, that everyone is the same. Everyone just wants to live a good life and provide for the people they care about, The
more you learn, the more questions you have.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
On that note, what do you think is your biggest passion right now, though?
That's a good one. It's interesting, right? Because I have so many passions in life. I think passion doesn't have to be an 80-year goal, Like, I don't think one thing just has to be your passion.
Yeah.
For me, I've just found anything that my intuition has the slightest curiosity about is something that I pursue. For example, DJing. Even though I don't want to be a DJ, I wanted to learn how to DJ, and I love going out, you know.
Why wouldn't you want to be a DJ? Would you? If the opportunity arose.
Not now in life.
Why?
I think for me, I do want to chase higher financials before I'm able to pursue things that I truly enjoy, because if you're worried about rent, how much are you really going to enjoy what you're doing? Do you know what I mean? And so for me, it's like, once I retire, and I hope to retire at a very early age, once I retire, I can enjoy these little side quests. You know, that's what we call them, right?
Yeah.
And even now, just having the resources and the ability to not only learn it and get good at it in a few weeks, but to learn how to produce from a friend of mine who's a gold certified producer. You know what I mean? And then just because of all the connections I have in nightlife, we can play instantly in Miami, Dubai, Hong Kong, all these massive cities where people practice years to get into. And it's
Skip the line.
It's literally
VIP.
literally don't have any experience. Learned how to mix for 2 weeks and just made it happen simply because of resources. But I think in life it's about building those resources and connections, and then you can do anything that you want. Because in reality, ideas, they're cheap. They're not worth anything. But if you have the resources to make ideas come to life, you can do anything. Yeah. So for me, my main priority is building up my network, building up my resources, building up my knowledge, and then from there, whatever I desire to pursue, I want to pursue. And I think that is a big purpose of life.
Yeah.
Pursuing those things. When you have the smallest itch, scratch it and see how far it can go. See where it can bring you.
Why do you think people don't?
It's two things. It's fear of failure and limiting beliefs. That's all it is. It's your belief system. That's all it is. Everything. The only reason people do not do things is because of their belief system and limiting beliefs. That's it.
And what is that derived from? Me as an individual, I'm scared of failure because what? Like, where do you think that?
Well, that's what you ask. Why?
Yeah.
A lot of times it's external validation.
Yeah.
A lot of the times it's childhood trauma someone hasn't overcome. It's preventing them from believing they could. A lot of the times it's lack of exposure. They just don't know what's possible. Well, you know what? For me, who grew up in this circumstance, we're just not meant to do that. Why? Why not? Because there's plenty of other people who came from that circumstance that have.
Yeah.
So why can't you? And a lot of it's just rewiring the brain.
Hormozy said it so well when he says, somebody's had it worse and done it better.
100%.
I don't know why anybody would have a limiting belief when they hear that in way of, or you meet, I know you've been in rooms with successful people and you've shaken hands and you've gotten to know them. Yeah. And then you're like, all right, well, you have your own problems. Yeah. And the more the success you get, right? The saying is the more problems you have, maybe not. Right?
Yeah.
But
type of problems are just different.
They're different problems, but also you realize you're just another human being.
That's it.
I can connect with you on this because we have a similar interest.
Yeah.
Or I can't connect with you because we're completely different people. It has nothing to do with your definition of success.
Yeah.
Right? That being said, what would you define success as? To you.
So many things.
Yeah.
I think success in actuality is just abundance, and abundance is subjective, and I'll define abundance as you have everything that you could need to live the life that you want to live. For someone that's barbecuing every Sunday, for someone I have a huge car collection, and for someone I get to travel the world.
Yeah.
All of those income streams are completely different. I don't think money is tied to success. I think it's whatever your subjective version of abundance is. What do you need to do what you enjoy every day without stress, for example? Like, what do you need in order to complete that? If you have that thing and you could do what you want to do every day, that's success.
Yeah, and I think about that as, I don't think what I do every day would change much if I got handed $100 million. Like, right now.
Yeah.
I would still be...
I don't know.
Yeah, listen, there would be signs. Yeah. But I'm saying I would still wake up every day and be like, I need to work out. I need to write 100%. And journal. I need to conversate, right?
100%. But the difference could be, what gym do you work out at?
Very true.
The difference could be, is it in your dream home? Yeah. Is it with a custom gym that you have? Is it your gym? You know what I mean? It's the type of food that you eat. For some people, they're cool with eating Chinese food. To them, that's enough. That's all they want. They're not looking for anything more, But for some people, it's Michelin star French cuisine. Neither are right or wrong, It's just different. And it's all individual and subjective based on the person. So when I'm saying success is defined as your own version of abundance, what do you need to live your perfect dream lifestyle every single day?
Have you heard the parable of the Mexican fisherman?
I have, yeah.
That's what I thought about right when you said it, right?
Yeah.
And it's Chris Williamson says it all the time, but it's a story where the American finance guy comes and he finds this fisherman and he pretty much just convinces him, if you get your friends to work for you, you can expand. If you expand, you can go public as a company. If you go public as a company.
And then what?
Right. And then what? I skipped the part. Yeah. And it's well, I start as I fish and then I make dinner for my family, have a glass of wine and spend time with them.
Yeah.
And you do all these steps and you retire and I make dinner for my family and I have a glass of wine and I spend time with them.
Yeah.
And I think as an entrepreneur and as somebody who's chasing success in whatever definition you want to look at, I think it can be almost a negative to look at that sometimes because it's like, am I over chasing? But what I want to ask you is what's your thought on that story specifically? Because I think there's some form of being content there.
Yeah. I love to define things, right? For me, it's not chasing. If you have to chase something, that means you're lacking something. Do you know what I mean? For me personally, because I can only speak on behalf of myself, I can go out to eat, you know what I mean? I travel the world, I do my thing. I'm not chasing this $1 billion whatever. I find it more interesting to build a business and work with your friends and travel the world with your friends and just create some cool shit that's going to impact the world. To me, that journey itself is success because people are defining success as I hit this benchmark and then I feel happy. But life is just reality. Do you know what I mean? Like the future doesn't matter, your thoughts don't matter, the past doesn't matter. It's just reality. It's right now. It's the present. And so if you're doing what you love, you know, and there's good days and bad days, but
of course,
if you're on a path where you're truly enjoying life, and for me personally, it's creating things. I am able to wake up every day and work on something that I'm building, you know, and eventually finance will come with that. You know what I mean? The money will come. I know that. But at least the friend group I have now, we're just so focused on building and creating and exploring and building memories together that I'm already successful. I'm already doing what most people dream of, right? But I'm already doing what makes me happy every single day, you know, and that gives me a level of like zen, peace. It allows me to go even harder because I love it so much, you know, and it makes me feel a ton of gratitude. You know, I never agreed with success being this benchmark, like, oh, once I hit $1 million, I'll be successful. But then once you hit it and you realize it's empty, it's just a benchmark, it's a word, it's a phrase, whatever, then you're like, oh no, once I hit 200, no, once I hit 300, then I'll be successful. But no, life is to live, bro. It's the action, it's reality. So as long as you're curating a life that you want to live actively every single day, and I think if you pursue genuine connection and you pursue creation, which I think all of us are built to do, I think you'll just live a happier and healthier and more fulfilled life, you know? Most people, I feel like it doesn't click with them where they don't understand how they want to live. Because I'm a big person, like the purpose of life is to live. That's it. The purpose of life isn't to be a hedge fund manager. That could be a part of your story, you know? But the purpose of life is to live. And when you're choosing a career, when you're choosing friendships or you're choosing experiences, does it fit that narrative of life that you want to live? You know, and to me, if you're able to live the life that you want to live truly, that's success. You know? And when people are not living that life, maybe some people love a 9-to-5. I'm not knocking it. I think it's a great thing. I think it's an awesome thing for most people. Yeah, for most people it's great.
Which is fine, yeah.
You know, but for the person out there in the desk job who's just, they want to live a different life, they have a dream life, but they're too afraid to take those steps, that's when you start to get miserable. That's when you start to define success in the wrong way. That's when you start to live the wrong way and bad habits form. And
why do they stay?
Limiting beliefs, it's their belief system. Maybe it's lack of exposure. Maybe they just don't think that it's possible. Maybe they just have never seen the other side before. You know, a lot of times people understand, like, failure is part of this whole gig. Failure is a part of it. You know what I mean? And once you detach from failure as a whole. Like when you understand, like it's just a part of the game. Like I'm just, this was a quote, I forgot who said it, but he said, if you knew that you had to fail 1,000 times before you succeeded, how fast would you want to fail? You know, for me, it always stuck because it's so true. You know what I mean? Like, people see my life now where I travel a lot, but they don't see nights where I literally crap myself to sleep. They don't see the nights where it's like, you're thousands of dollars in debt and you're going through so much pain and hurt and no one believes in what you're doing, but you know that it's right in your heart. People don't see that. You know what I mean? And I think it's something raw that's not talked about enough. You know, like there's so much pain that comes with it, but on the other side, I think comes peace and fulfillment, you know?
So how overwhelmingly good is it to find the people that do believe in you? Because of those moments.
It changed my life.
You need to sit in the darkness to appreciate the light.
Dude, 100%.
Our travels, right? Yeah. I was just telling you the Bali belly stuff, and it's like, I was so low that day.
Yeah.
So like that morning, that night.
Yeah.
We saw so funny. We saw each other, and everything that happened next gave me a different point of view because I was so down on my luck, I'll say. I was my health is gone, and I take such pride in how healthy and my fitness, like all that is, you know, that's kind of my identity.
Yeah. Lack of control too.
Yeah. And when you have those low moments, I think it makes the highs that much better.
100%.
But for you, and you said it back there, but if you want to get into it, if you don't, what are some failures that you think have molded you to the next steps you take afterward or where you are now?
Yeah. I mean, there's micro and macro.
For sure. And it might be a bigger deal to you or, you know, the ego might take a hit. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's a spectrum, right? So my first business that I had started was at 16. It was a clothing brand. That failed, but I realized that I learned. You know, I learned a little bit of marketing. I learned a little bit of sales. I learned website design, back ends. I learned manufacturing, how to deal with, you know, different people. I understand, you know, how to manage certain employees, for example. I learned a little bit about leverage. So even though it failed and I lost, probably broke even, had 3 partners, I also learned that, you know, partner dynamic is important. Who you go into bed with is important, you know. That one stung me a little bit, you know. It's like your first breakup, you know, your first big failure. You know, you think your first idea is always going to be like, this is the one. You know, I have this idea, no one else has had it. It's fucking clothing. You know what I mean, bro? Like
nobody else has done that.
Like some mid graphic designs, right? No one.
Nobody would ever think of this.
No one ever thought of that, right? Yeah.
And, come to find out, there's 4 other brands. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it was a mix of, you know, that was my first one. Actually, I'll tell you one of the hardest parts. I think we probably talked about this. I remember I saw my little bit of my first success, right? And it's tough when something works and then it doesn't. You know, and it's like you go through all this pain and you failed a few times. For me, it was like 4 or 5, and then finally something worked, right? That spike of dopamine, like, fuck, I got it. This is it. The rest of my life is laid out for me. I'm good. I'm chilling. No.
And you just came from down here. So like that little bit of a...
Exactly. Yeah. And so for me, I went into college my freshman year, right? And I remember I wanted to give it my full go. I ended up getting like a 3.6 or a 3.8, like decent GPA. I was in honors classes. I did student government. I started my own club. I was like, you know, if I'm going to do school, I'm really going to try it. Wasn't for me.
Why?
And so I felt like I was in purgatory, you know? Like I wanted to start. And I wanted to be in control of my time, which is interesting because as an entrepreneur, you work more. But it's essentially when you want to work. And the harder you work, the more reward you get. As opposed to sometimes when you work for someone, you could be the hardest working person in the world and never see that reward, which will crush your belief system because now you think no matter how hard I work, X won't happen. You know, I won't get this reward. And so I realized school wasn't for me. I knew instantly. And then the second year of school, me and a good friend of mine, we would go to the library every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for like 7 hours. And I would just skip class. GPA went down to like a 1.3, I think, by the end of the year, but I dropped out. Yeah. And I had started, we just sat down and brainstormed, you know, what do I want to do? How can we make money?
What did your parents think?
That's what I'm getting into, yeah.
Okay.
And so, my parents, they didn't come from much, but they built something. I was middle class. I was never I never grew up in poverty. I never grew up, you know what I mean? My parents did pretty well, but they came from nothing. And it's an interesting dynamic when someone doesn't come from anything and they work their entire life to give you the opportunity to go to school. Even though with technology, things advance and change so much that school's not necessarily needed anymore, right?
Yeah.
And that wasn't understood. And so imagine that dynamic saying like, hey, I want to drop out of this thing that you worked your entire life to give your kids the opportunity to go do, right? Which is interesting, So I had to take that into account. And so I kind of played it off like, I just want to take a gap year, explore this idea.
Let me go find myself. Yeah.
And so it's so interesting because I had started at the end of that year, I had dropped out and I started to get my first client, got my second, got my third. Eventually, however it happened, closed a pretty big company. I won't say it, but it was my first $7,500 a month contract. I had like 3 other clients. So I dropped out of school. I had got in a...
Was that enough affirmation for you signing that where you're like, all right, I can leave? Like
that was like, this is working.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is working.
Yeah.
Profit margins were like 60, 70% on that.
Instead of spending to learn about somebody else's entrepreneurial story.
Exactly, yeah.
I can make more going this way.
And mind you, halfway through the school year, I had quit all my jobs to go full force into what I was learning.
You were grinding.
Yeah.
When we met, you were always working.
Yeah, so when I started as a bartender and a server, I would work 100-hour weeks, 103-hour weeks in the summertime.
And my drunk ass would be like, let's go out. You're like, I'm working, bro. I'm like,
yeah. And so I just work. And I had the ethic, and now I was interested in something. And it kept pivoting. And finally I found a product that was, when I brought it to market, it did pretty well. And so... this is the interesting part. I dropped out, obviously, quit all my jobs, so I had a little bit of debt. But now that I had these clients, I was paying off the debt, and I was able to move out. So I moved out, got my own apartment, and partially it's, you're working a lot. There's a lot of noise at home, and you need your own space sometimes as an entrepreneur, right? You need your own space. And for me, I'm someone where it's like I'm a very social person, but I need to be alone to charge my batteries. So when you go to war every day, and you work 16, 17 hours, you just want peace, And it's tough to do that in a house, regardless of which house you're in. And so I finally moved out, dropped out of college. Everything is working. Parents, so proud of you. Things are going well, whatever. Within 1 week, dude, my apartment flooded. And so I had to move back in with my parents. And my car totaled on the way to a meeting. And the total was so bad that I passed out, and I was in and out, woke up in the ambulance, then out, and then woke up in the hospital. Parents came, family, friends came, and my brain was just messed up. My car was totaled, really bad concussion. I had to go to neurologist appointments. I had all these wires hooked up to my brain, reading everything monthly. And of course, I lost most of my clients. I was a solopreneur. I didn't have a team. I had a few UGC creators. It was a UGC company, and revenue tanked. So it's like it finally works, and then lose my car. Now I have to pay for a new car, pay for more insurance, which spikes. My insurance was like $500-600 a month at the time, which was a lot for me.
You were paying it.
Yeah. I was paying for everything. Yeah. I was super independent. You know what I mean? Nothing.
How old?
This was 20. No, 19 years old, 19, 20.
Did you feel you were putting pressure on yourself at that age?
I 100% was.
Yeah.
I 100% was.
Why? Not to interrupt, but...
No, I know.
I know you're on here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes we want to prove things to people, and I think I was craving external validation, specifically from the family, which is normal. So many kids go through that, you know what I mean? And for me, I just felt like I had something to prove, and I connected my independence to proving that I was right, even though that was putting me in a worse financial situation. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
That's kind of like the ego we talked about earlier.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm so happy I did it, because being on that edge of terrible finances while you're working 16-hour days, do you know what I mean? It builds a character in you that is just unexplainable.
I can do hard shit.
Exactly. Yeah. And it just blew up my level of my stress threshold of what I could tolerate, which has helped me drastically, right? and everything had been failing, right? I had to move back in to my house. I had to get a new car, obviously. My head was all fucked up. And a good friend of mine, he was running some restaurants in the Hamptons. And so I go to him like, dude, life's bad right now. Life's tough. Is there any way that I can work on the weekends and you can give me, some sort of housing or whatever? And so they had this housing. It was group housing. It was like $1,000 a month, I think. Just not bad. That was like one shift in the Hamptons. It was crazy.
Yeah,
so network was crazy. People that I met were crazy.
I saw the Mark Wahlberg post.
So actually, I wasn't working there at that time. I was visiting. So I became very good.
Really?
Yeah, I became very good friends. I'd visit all the time. There was a time where I spent a summer there. Like I really loved it. I fell in love with it. But this summer specifically, A, I needed cash, and B, I just wanted a change of environment. I had to move back out of the house, and I'm like, what, how can I do that? How can I ground myself? Like I still had some money left, but how could I ground myself in a way that will reset my system? And I was like, you know what? Back to the roots. Let me fucking shake some drinks, you know what I'm saying? And deal with some high-level people. Yeah, I mean, dude, 1,000, 1,200 a shift, like crazy at this restaurant. And so met some crazy people. Had a bunch of good times. The entire summer, Monday through Thursday, I was building my second company that I had started. I learned so much. And a friend of mine at the time, he was doing not so well in his business as well. And so we came together to collaborate. What can we do together? Two brains are better than one. We won't go on salary. We'll just build. And
that's tough.
We built a sick fucking product.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about the first month, we did more revenue than, we probably 3x'd my highest month with my first company.
How did that feel? Making that first, we'll call it like that first payday. What did that feel like? Especially you've struggled, you've been low, you went back to bartending. What is that first, like, ooh,
bro,
you know what, like.
I was good. Yeah. I was good. I paid off all of my debt. I moved to Italy for a month with my girlfriend.
You're a sick fuck.
I had such a crazy time. I ended up we got so busy with clients. I had to tell my friend, I was like, listen, thank you so much for this. Like I got everything I needed. I can't work on the weekends anymore because I have to work full time on this. And it worked. And then the next month, even more revenue. And then the next month, even more revenue. And then fast forward a little bit, one of my best friends at the time, he poached my business partner. I'm not going to say names. I'm not here to throw dirt at anyone. If anything, I'm happy it happened because it put me in my position now, and I learned so much from it. Obviously, forgive them for everything. Doesn't mean you forget. I just forgive. It's like it's not something I think about anymore.
Don't need that negativity.
Exactly, yeah. But things are finally working like this. Dopamine spike. And my best friend poached my business partner. And now I'm alone with all these clients, all this financial responsibility, all of this fulfillment that I have to do for all the clients while also doing sales and navigating all these things that I couldn't do alone. And that I was just that alone. And I didn't have a proper team or friend group that could help me get through that, who understood the level of that pressure. I didn't have friends in the online space who were at that level that could understand. My friends are the most supportive people in the world, from back home, but it's different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a different type of stress that now my friend group can understand and help me get through,
Yeah, now you have a good cushion of comfort.
But imagine riding this high, drop out of school, new apartment, life is good, car crash, apartment floods, move back at home, literally crying to my mom because I'm like, what am I doing wrong? All I'm doing are the right things.
Yeah.
And then all the way up because this next business is working, and then fucked over by partnership.
So let me ask you this on that note, because I think most people, you put your time, energy, and effort into these things, and you get to this point of, I've been through this, I got a little bit of momentum, boom, down. Get some momentum, boom, down. Yeah. Do you think that somebody would take the opportunity to use that as an excuse?
100%.
Where, right, it's kind of rhetorical, but I just want to hear your opinion on it. Where I've I've done these things. I've kind of proven I can make it work. And now this is the perfect excuse to be like, all right, I can get out, because if this didn't happen, I would have made it, right? So what to you is like, all right, I maybe not got fucked over. That doesn't matter, because I'm just going to keep going. I'm confident in myself. What was that mindset shift like for you?
So to give you context, I was touring colleges again before I started that second company that popped off.
Where?
Bryant.
Yeah.
You know, URI. And it's all about resilience. It's all about your belief system. I've always been a delusional optimist. I know it's going to work out, and I'm going to make sure that it does. At that lowest low where I got fucked over and felt so alone.
Was that lower than the car accident?
Way lower.
Why?
Because think about the fucking high.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
think about
the sky, like we can conquer the world kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. I had just gotten through all that shit. Yeah. I'm the king of the world.
Yeah.
Nope.
What was your ego like though?
At that point, I remember I was in my room and I was looking at the acceptance letter from Bryant, because this is all within like a 6-month period. And I just remember thinking, I'm at my desk, and I'm in my room, or I'm in my bed, or someplace, and just saying, fuck this. Like, why would I stop? I just did all that. The only thing that's killing me is being in my head, because half the day I'm drifting off into space thinking about how I got fucked and what I'm going to do instead of actually doing it. And so I snapped out of it, focused. All of the stress went away.
This was after your...
This was after everything got fucked over within like a week or two. Because when he gave me the news, heart sunk. Done.
Yeah. Why? What was the feel? Like, what was...
It was worse than any breakup I had ever gone through.
What was going through your head, though?
I didn't understand anything. So for me, I remember he told me, and we were I'd say best friends at the time, and he told me that he got a better offer and he has to split. And like now when I think of the conversation, it's like ridiculous. I should have responded in a different way, but
could you see things from his side or not?
100%. He got offered a deal that was going to make him like $60,000 a month, dude. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't take things personally.
Never. But I'm also the type of person who's very loyal.
Yeah.
I would never do that to someone, because with the trajectory that we were going, we could have brought that to the moon. And that just comes with, but everyone wants to do what they want to do at the end of the day. And accepting that gives me a lot of peace, because I can only control what I can control.
Yeah. Yep.
And this is where I learned that lesson. Do you know what I mean? And so when I realized everything is in my control.
Made you who you are today.
Yep, and there was also a lead in the pipeline who wanted to be a client. And now he's my business partner. And in that moment where I almost drowned, we were spending $250 to $500 per day, every day, for ad spend to get sales calls that I had to close while I was also fulfilling, when I hadn't built up that sales process my partner had, right? And so everything was getting fucked up, and I was in my room and I had this moment of, I can only control what I can control. I looked at the chessboard and I said, what are my moves? We had someone that we were talking with, veteran in the industry, and we were doing free work, and I realized, I'm like, this goes back to all the failures when I learned about leverage, right? He has a product I want. I was like, let me do some research on this dude. Found out they were acquiring companies, and I pitched him the acquisition. We get on a phone call and or a Zoom call with the team, and I go to them, I'm like, listen, all we care about at this point is cash. And I'm like, you have the resources to bring this times 10. I don't care about titles. I'm not an ego person. I don't care about director this, chief of this, etc. Let's make some cash. With your resources, I can multiply what I'm doing times 10, because I have the brains, the products, and the systems to do it. And so he later purchased my company, and then I bought equity back into his. And we've been growing this thing ever since. And now I have a brother for life, and I have a team that will literally, and they've proven this time and time again, would die for me. Like my business partners now, I love them more than anything. They have been there for me in moments, in the past year of like, how the fuck am I going to do this? And they've helped guide me through everything. And so the level of love and deep connection that I have with these people, it's unlike anything. And it's really shaped my mind in a way, like, I always hear business partners suck. You know, you can't have business partners, you can't do it. Yes, you can, you just got to pick the right ones.
Yeah.
Because the right ones, you're competing against teams. You're not competing against individuals, you know?
Yeah, did I cut you off?
No, you're good.
Something you said to me when we were in Bali, I believe, was you pick a point where you know you need to take the reins and take the lead on this project. You need to pick a point when you know you got to take the back seat and let your business partner do his thing.
I'm going to read this to you. This was
Well, I remember you said it, and then you and I started conversating about it. But I think that's a good point to be made.
You ready? Mm-hmm. This is a Threads post that I had in, let's see when, because this is exactly that conversation. I have not many.
This tequila is making me feel good.
This was June 8th, 2023. Almost 3 years ago. It says, you must understand if you're number one or number two. Many people fail at this. Do you have the ability to run or start your own business? Or are you a better number two who can help people grow theirs? Nothing is wrong with either. But if you live life acting as a number one, when in reality you're a better number two, you will not be successful. Understand who you are and what your value is. Only then you will grow. And the only thing I would add to that now is it can change. I was a number one.
Yeah.
Right now I am a happy number two, where I am helping build this massive company. I'm getting so much experience. We're all printing cash, and we're eventually going to sell for a massive exit. You know, I'm okay being a number two because I can help this business better than if I were to guide it, because I don't nearly have the resources, skills, or knowledge to guide a ship like that to the end. But I can help someone build their vision to do it, but I'm a part of it and I'm growing it and we're partners. But even though we're partners, it's knowing my place.
Yeah.
But knowing that after the sells, I could be a great number one because I have the tools, resources, and knowledge now to build something better of my own and help lead a team, because those are the skills that I'm learning now. You know, so in life, things will change. You will be a number one and you will be a number two, and it will bounce back and forth. You could be 50 years old, but if you want to learn guitar for the first time, you're not going to be a number one.
It might be number four.
It might be, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I think it's very important understanding where you at, and that really just comes down to ego.
Do you think the fact that you're printing makes being the number two a little bit easier?
100%.
Yeah, of course. Right?
It makes sense. Being number one easier.
I'd be number five. Here's a paycheck that's a solid amount. Like, put me at 10.
That's what I'm saying, you know? And that's why, like, I never knock 9 to 5s, because if you can make $250,000 a year and not deal with any stress besides your paycheck,
well, that's, I think, why most people not only find comfort in it, but you work 9 to 5, and then weekends are off, holidays are off. I'm not working when I'm not working.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, Christmas Day, you get a call, hey, we need something. You're like, yep, well, let me step away from the family dinner, and right? And that's what you sign up for.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of leads into living to work versus working to live.
Which now you understand is different because you've traveled now.
Well, which would you prefer? Because I'll go quick.
Yeah.
I think where I'm at now is I would rather live to work, meaning I know what I'm truly passionate about and I'm going to do it all the time anyway. So I might as well make my life something within that realm. And that's when we talk fitness industry stuff, and even on the ride over here, that's kind of where I stood. But I get the people that do the 9 to 5 and then travel on the weekends, travel on the holidays, and have the best life ever, because I think it's a little more stable.
Yeah.
But on the same topic of the conversation, I would kick myself if in 30 years I was like, dude, you never even tried.
And that's why it's all individual. Like, I would argue, even though 9 to 5 is a great thing, I would argue most people choose that because they don't know that there's another option, and their belief system doesn't allow them to pursue something differently. You know, so
but
it's like,
what is their belief system coming from? Parents? Nature versus nurture? Like,
it could, if your parents both were plumbers your whole life, the odds of you going into the trades are
you were flowing. What do you like to do for fun?
Oh, dude, so much. That's
Flip it up a little bit.
I love to cook. I love to paint. Now I love to DJ. I love to work out. I crave creativity and I crave connection. So anything that breeds creativity or anything that breeds connection, I truly enjoy. I really like that. And this is interesting. I would love to open a restaurant, have a high-end clothing brand, have a niche fragrance. My whole philosophy is life is to live, right? And so anything that involves the senses, anything you could see that's beautiful, anything you could touch that's beautiful in quality, anything you could smell that's beautiful. Taste. I had a mentor of mine, he's a very good friend now. He taught me memento mori, remember you will die. It's from Socrates. And the best way he explained it, I'll never forget, instead of eating something, taste it. There's a big difference there, and so being creative and living through your senses and reality and being present, I think it just brings peace, brings joy, so I enjoy a lot of stuff, but anything that roots in creativity or connection.
Yeah. You said that, I thought of Maktab something. Have you heard that one? I gotta look it up. Because I think it's similar. Have you ever read The Alchemist? Because I think it's pretty applicable.
It's a high school project. I haven't since.
Yeah? Or no? Oh, but you read it?
I did, yeah, I did.